So we got delivery of our electric log splitter today. Came off the truck on this pallet. Kind of a homemade pallet, but looks like everything is there and intact. There's the electric motor and pump. Get her unwrapped here. And there it is with the plastic wrap off. Let's see here. Yeah, it seems to be in good condition. I was afraid that maybe it got trapped under the pallet. But looks like it's okay. Now to open the box, see what's in there. Looks like here we have tires. And it looks like this may have been the box that originally the electric motor was in. It's a horizontal vertical model. It'll operate in both directions, so I assume that's what this is for. Pivot pin to lock it in. Oh, this is probably the pivot, and that's the pin to lock it in position. Hydraulic lever. Alright. The next thing I did is I removed the lower portion of the frame from the crate that it came on, and I installed the wheels on the 5/8 inch axles, and I also made a spacer that goes between the tank here and the wheel, just because there's so much room for the wheel to slide back and forth on that I figured it'd be better to space it outwards, but it'll work fine just like this. And I also installed the foot at the front, and there's simply this pin that secures it. I should also point out that it's a good idea to use a wood block or something when you're mounting your wheels. The side with the motor on is pretty heavy, so getting the wheel off of the ground when you're installing it makes the whole job easier. The next thing we did is we lifted the ram and set it on top of the lower base unit and put that big bolt through the tube that's on the ram, and the pin that allows you to tip it from vertical to horizontal. Lock that in place. It's a two-person job to lift that up, so you want to get someone else to help you with that. There was a little tag in the box that said pump hose to in on valve. So this was the pump hose right here, this one, and I attached it to in on the valve. So it takes a 7/8 inch wrench. You'll probably want to use two of them, one to hold this as you lock down this. This hose here was not connected to anything either when it was shipped, and there was only one thing still not connected, and that was out on this valve. And it makes sense, the outlet from the hydraulic valve goes back to the return on the tank. The last thing I installed was the control valve, and that's installed with two pins that go through. One goes to the lever, the other one has a slot in it that goes just below, and then there's two pins that hold, or two cotters or whatever these are, that hold the pins in place. The final step is to add the hydraulic fluid. When I bought the unit, I was told to get 4 gallons of Dextron 3 automatic transmission fluid, and I got an equivalent from Tractor Supply. I put in, remove this cap, I put in 2 gallons, and that just about filled the tank. I added maybe another quart, and then I really couldn't add any more. So I plugged the unit in, and I turned it on, and I cycled the ram, and you could hear the air coming out, and the hydraulic fluid getting into the pump. And I cycled it back and forth a few times, and then I shut it down and went back and topped off my tank. And right now, I guess there's about 3 gallons or so in there, but I don't know if you can see in there, but it's pretty full. And it was just a matter of switching it back on again. Let's do a little switch here. And there you can see it. Sounds good. Reverse. You don't even have to have your hand on the control. And as soon as it gets back, it'll automatically unlock and go back to the neutral position. But yeah, I cycled the cylinder a few times to make sure I had all the air out. And it looks like it's ready to go. Looks like a very nice solid unit. This piece of iron here looks to be 1 1/4 inches. The ram is an I-beam. The wedge looks like a 1-inch piece that's had a couple of angles welded to it for the final split. And where the back portion of the cylinder mounts is 1 inch thick. The welds all look very nice. You got a little scratched up during shipping, but I suppose I can call them and find out what kind of paint they used and then touch it up if I want to. So I've been using the wood splitter, and the only small problem I've had so far is that I had a little bit of a hydraulic leak between this 1.5 inches or 1.25 inches fitting into the tank. So I pulled that apart and I put some sealer in there. And in so doing, I found that there's an internal filter that's attached to this plug. So this unit does have a filter. I saw a comment somewhere that they don't, but they do. It's just internal to the unit. It's not an external one. So that's good to know. I've already used the unit quite a bit, and it's set up in the horizontal mode right now, as you can see here. And it pulls quite nicely behind the electric ATV here. And if you look back here, there's the wood that we have split so far with it. It's between these two trees. It's about a 5.5 foot tall stack. It's all maple, hard maple. And it went well. There was nothing that it wouldn't go through. Okay, so to demonstrate, I have an ash log, and it's not rotten. There's no fungus in it yet. There was lower in the tree, but not this one. So you first of all reach over here, turn on the unit, and I'm going to aim right for that knot right there. but it did eventually go through. Alright. You can just lift the lever, it'll come up, and then when it gets to the top, it'll stop. Turn this. See what kind of wood structure that went through here. Pretty gnarly stuff. Tears it apart. Look at that. It's pretty quiet. You can hear my voice over it. Probably sounds louder on the recording than it actually is. Just because they're more sensitive to frequencies. Check this one out. See what's inside here. You can see the two-stage pump.